one on the board. And let me fix the board because the person that had the class before we did not fix the board back.
And that just drives me crazy.
Yes, it does. I think it's very discourteous.
Can you say discourteous without
Discourteous.
pausing?
Okay. There we go. All right, let's take a couple of simple numbers. Let's go with 4, 8, and 12. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and sometimes 13. Find the, I don't care about the least common multiple. Find the greatest common, or whatever the second one is, I can't remember. Greatest common divisor. All right, so 2 will go into all three of them. 2 times, 4 times, 6 times. What will go into all of those? 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. And at this point, what happens? The real math stops. And the real math stops. You want to get all ones on the bottom. So, divide by 2, 1, 1, that comes down, and this comes down because you can't divide 2 into 1 and 3, so they just come down. And then 3, that comes down, that comes down, and 3 divided by 3 is 1, so we got our 3 ones, that's what we need. So this is your greatest common divisor, which is 8 times 3 is what? 24. So 24 is our greatest common divisor. So let's do one more just to refresh our memory of what we did last time. Let's do a nerd. All right, try that. right here. Should be 25 or something, 27. That should be 27. Huh?
You get this from right here.
Okay, 5 won't go in 135, 75. 5 is going to check it, make sure. 5 going 13, 2 times. I think it's 27. But you're right, the real math stops it. Divide 5 into all 3. 5 will go into 15 3 times. 5 will go into 25 5 times. 5 will go into 13 2 times. That'll leave 35, which is 7. So what happens at this point? Real math what? Real math stops. Why? Well, 3 will go into 3 and 27, but 3 won't go into what? So the real math stops. Now, for those that missed yesterday and didn't look at the videos and didn't look at the screen capture, that number right here is the least common multiple. That is the biggest number that will what? That will go into all 3. I don't care about that. I mean, the homework does and the test does, but I care more about this next number. So I'm going to take my blue pen and divide by 3. And that's going to give me a 1. That's going to come down. And that's going to give me a 9. 5. That comes down. 1. And that comes down. Now you can either put a 3 squared here or you can put 2 3s here. I really don't care. But I'll put 2 3s since that's the way we're doing it. We got our 3 1s. We've got our greatest common factor. Our greatest common divisor. Which in this case is going to be 3 times 3 times 3 is 27 times 25, which is going to be over 600. What does it come out to be? 675, if y'all done the math correct.
What are you looking for? That's the least common.
The BA number.
Multiple, right? The bigger number is what you're looking for.
Yeah, the big number.
Okay.
I always get them mixed up.
Yeah, and you're confused.
Okay. It's my fault.
It is.
It's all my fault.
It is. Yes. Okay.
All right, now, y'all remember going over this. Now I want to switch gears and go into 5.2, which is going to be adding and subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions. Now, one of the problems with fractions is people are scared to death of them. What are we usually scared to death of? That's not rhetorical, I'm asking y'all. As human beings, what are we usually scared to death of? Stuff that we've never done or stuff that we don't what? Don't understand. If you see a person that's scared of something, chances are they usually don't understand it. And that could be another person. Some people are scared of other people just because they're too quiet. You ever heard of that before? They're just too quiet. Same thing. People are scared of fractions because they don't understand it. Most of the time, these two take care of themselves. A lot of those two take care of themselves because they're easy. And that's why people can do them. Because they're easy. I can do multiplying and dividing all day long. Well, that's good. But you don't add or subtract you don't multiply and divide fractions all the time. Where in real life, you add and subtract them more than you multiply and divide them. So, these are the two that cause all the problems. And these are also the two that cause people not to be able to read the tape measure. Because if you don't understand how to add or subtract fractions, you're not going to understand the graduated marks on a tape measure. So I spend a lot of time helping students get through that. Because I don't care how much math you've had. There are a lot of people that are scared to death of adding and subtracting fractions, no matter how much they've had. So, let's start off simple. 1 over 2 plus 3 over 4. Now, there's three sets of people in here. One set, oh, I know how to do that. You multiply 2 times 4. Well, shut up, you're wrong. All right? You don't know it all, and you didn't invent mathematics. 2, oh, I know how to do that. You just take the highest number. Yeah, you're right. But what if the highest number is not a multiple of 2? Okay? Then you got another problem. So, what I would like to suggest to people that don't understand how to do fractions is just learn one method. And that method is just what I taught you. Take the 2 and the 4 and find the big number that they will both go into. Or the smallest number that they will both go into. Whatever the definition is. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and sometimes 13. Now, yes, I know 2 and 4 is simple, but I've got to show you how to do this from a crawling standpoint versus a running standpoint. So, I'm going to divide 2 in there. I get a 1 here and a 2 here. Divide by 2, bring this down, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So my greatest common divisor, or my greatest common denominator, is 4. So I put a 4 there and a 4 there. And see, here's the good part about it. If you get some BA numbers that are real big, all you got to do is use this thing right over here to show you how many times something goes into something. Now, of course, I can't show you that before, because everybody in here knows that 2 times 2 is 4. So I can't show you that. But in some problems that we're going to do here in a few minutes, you're going to see that this thing will help you out, not only to find this number, but it's going to help you out to convert the numerators also. How many times will 2 go into 4? Well, you cover up one of the 2's, and what does that leave you? That 2 right there. So 2 times 1 is 2. And it's very important that you, for those people who have trouble with fractions, it's very important that you write down those arrows because they tell you what to do. 2 will go into 4 2 times. Right there. 2 times 1 is 2. 4, of course, will go into 4 1 time. 1 times 3 is 3. And then what do you do with the numerators? You add the numerators and you carry the denominator. Now, I always love when I go over this because somebody out there is going to say, oh, well, that's not right. You got to write it as 1 1/4. Shut up. Okay, one reason, no, I don't. 2, nobody asked you. All right? Why am I not writing it as a mixed number? Because you only use mixed numbers when? Anybody know? Nope. That's the wrong answer. I'm glad you said that, though, because a lot of people think that. You only use mixed numbers when you're using a unit of what? Huh? Measurement. That's the only time you use mixed numbers. Or if the directions tell you to write it as a mixed number, which they usually won't because it's not simplifying. Let me give you an example. 5/4. How many times did your pencil hit the paper? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 5. 4 or 5, depending on how you do your fours. Now, a lot of mathematicians tell you that the definition of reducing a number is reducing the number of strokes it is to write the actual answer down. So that's what a lot of mathematicians will say. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say you write your fours like that. 4 or 5 strokes. Okay, change it into a mixed number. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does it change it? Does it change it at all? Is it reduced? No, it's not reduced. You're just rewriting it. Now, if you want to use the word to rewrite, that's fine. You are rewriting it. But do not use the word reduce because you're not reducing it. You're rewriting it. The only time we use a mixed number in real life is when? With a unit of what? Measurement. You ever walked into Walmart and asked for 5/4 speed of rope? But you can. It'll shut them down. It will. You'll get the manager. You'll melt them down too. So something you want to do is you just want to have fun. That's the only time whenever you use feet or pounds or cups or whatever the case may be. Or the directions tell you to rewrite it as a mixed number. Like I say, usually that won't happen. So in my class, if it comes out to be an improper fraction, you what? You leave it that way. Unless units of measurement or the directions specify whether to rewrite it. Well, here, but what about 4/2? Does 4/2 give you a mixed number? No. It gives you a what? A whole number. Is there a difference between a mixed number and a whole number? Yeah. So you can't compare an apple to an orange. This is reducing. Yes, that's reducing. Reducing from an improper fraction to a what? Number. This is not going from an improper fraction to a number. This is going from an improper fraction to a mixed number. Therefore, it's not reducing. It's what? Rewriting. Okay? So if you ever had a teacher tell you that you're reducing, that teacher was incorrect. Okay. On a scale from 1 to 10, this is about a 1. About as simple as you can get. But then you got something like these. 3 won't go into 5. Okay? These are 2 prime numbers. Now you can learn another rule, or you can use the same rule. 3 and 5. 3, 1, 5. 5, 1, 1. So what's the common denominator? 3 times 5. And you can actually write 3 times 5 in the denominator if you wanted to. You could do that. You could do 3 times 5 right here. You could do 3 times 5 right here. How many times will 3 go into 3 times 5? 5 times 1 is 5. So you could do it that way if you wanted to. There's no law against it. 5 will go into 3 times 5. How many times? 3 times 2 is, and you get what? 11 over 15. Now, so far, you could have learned two rules. If you have a number that's a multiple of another number, then you use the number that's the multiple of, the larger number. And then, if you have two prime numbers, you can use multiplication to multiply two prime numbers together. So you can learn two rules, or you can learn one. Here's the one. All right, let's try another one. Oh my gosh, we got prime numbers and we got, oh gosh, it's not a multiple. Well, you can come up with another rule, or you can just use the same rule you've been using. I'd use the same rule I've been using if I was you. So what's the common denominator? 12. So you put 12 here, 12 here, and 12 here. NASA engineers, you know what they do? 24. Where do they get 24? They multiply all three denominators. Now, is that okay with something like 24? Yeah. But what if you have three that have three digits in the denominator? Like 127, 125, and 152. You're going to multiply all three of those together? Or are you going to learn 15th or 16th rule for that? All right. Now let's say you don't know your multiplication tables. How many times will 4 go into 12? You go over here, and you cover up. Cover up the daggone 4. How many times? Now that's going to come in handy later on when you're using numbers that you don't have on your multiplication tables, like 3 and 4-digit numbers. So 3. Let me get rid of my white marks. 3 times 3 is what? 3 times 3 is what? 9. Of course, 2 will go into 12, cover up 2. How many times? What's 2 times 3? 6. 6 times 1 is 6. And 3 will go into 12. How many times? 4 times 1 is 4. And now, what's 9 minus 6? And what's 3 plus 4? Let me ask you a question. How hard is adding and subtracting fractions? Let me ask you this. What's harder? Adding and subtracting fractions or finding the common denominator? Huh? Finding the common denominator is what keeps people from learning how to add and subtract fractions. And if you can't add or subtract fractions, you can't read the what? The tape measure. Let's do a nerd. All you do there is just multiply 25 times 30. Somebody quick, tell me what the common denominator is. 25 times 30, let's see. 10, 250, 250, 750. Yeah, go ahead. Knock yourself out. What's going to happen if you pick something as big as 750? You're going to have to depend on what to finish the problem. Calculate. And that's the whole point. I haven't even said you need to calculate yet. That looks right. How many quarters? Six. Six times 17. Six times 4. I can't do it. 6 times 12. 72. That's good. And then 30 is only 5 times. 5 times 2 is 15. Right? $25 and 30. Two, 3, 5, 7, 11, sometimes 13. We really don't care because you know what number goes into these two. 5. That would be a 5 and a what? 6, 5, 1, and 6. 2, 1, and 3. 3, 1, and 1. Now, of course, I'm going to use these two first. Why am I going to multiply those two first? Why? Why am I going to multiply 2 times 5 first? Why didn't I multiply 3 times 5 first? Why did I multiply 2 times 5 first? Because 2 times 5 is, and anybody can multiply by 10. 20 times 10 is 200. 30 times 10 is 300. 2 times 10 is 20. Anybody can multiply by 10. So anytime you can pull out a factor of 10, pull it out. Now what's 5 times 3? And what's 15 times 10? So that's your common denominator. Did somebody multiply 25 times 30? What do you get? I think it's going to be like 750, isn't it? I love this. Just like I asked you. I can ask you how many times 25 will go into 150, and y'all sit there and go, but I asked you how many quarters in $1.50 and you said 6. Just like that. Why is that? Because you use money every day and you need to start thinking about money when you're talking about 6 into 150 or 25 into 150. Don't say 25 will go into 150. So how many quarters in $1.50? 6. 6 times 2 is what? 72. 30 will go into 150 how many times? 5 times 3 is? And 72 plus 15, Daniel, 87. Now, how many of you were able to do this before you came in here today? Don't raise your hand, you don't have to. Some of you were. And how hard is it? It's not hard. Do you have to remember a bunch of rules? No. All you have to remember is what we've been doing for the last week. And that is this right here. No rules, just one. Let's pull some up on the homework so we can discourage you. Hey, how are you? You got your uniform on today.
Zoom text inning, speech disabled.
Well, congratulations. I didn't know you got a job yet.
Mr. Newton did it.
What county? What?
Greenwood.
Well, good for you.
Man, that man runs his mouth and other.
Yeah, I know. He don't tell nobody anything.
Oh.
Well, congratulations.
I'll see you later.
All right.
Catch you later.
Holler at me.
Oh, well.
Okay. One of my good students. See, you can pass.
Andy on your turn.
Huh?
Andy on your
Yeah. Okay, I thought 5.2, oh, I'm sorry, 5.3 homework. I'm sorry. 5.3, we're skipping 5.2 right now. Sorry about that. I suck. I know you gotta add them sometime. There we go. All right, we did one like that. Did one like that. Probably gonna give you any challenging problems. All right, let's try that one. I'll blow it up for you.
You said it was 5-3.
5.3. We're in 5.3. I skipped 5.2 right now. But 5.2, I'm not worried about. All right. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, go right ahead. You don't have to ask. Just go. That's fine. I appreciate you asking, but no, you don't have to ask. You just, when nature calls, you just follow nature's call.
What number you doing?
This is number 39 in the online. I don't know if it's the same as your homework though. You can go to study plan under 5.3 and pull up number 39. That's the one we're doing. What are you laughing about over there? She talking about me again. Yeah. No, just no her. I want to find some challenging problems. These are not challenging enough. Well, this is better than nothing. It's not what I was wanting, but I'll have to use this next. Okay. So, find the common denominator of 15 and 25. No, 125. And 5 will go in there 3 times. 5 will go in here, what, 25 times?
Yeah.
And then 3, 1 and 25. And then 5 squared. 1 and 1. So 5 to the 4th power times 3. 375. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to rewrite it. Or I'm just going to go over here and do it. 375. 375. 375. And this is exactly the one that I was talking about where you don't think in terms of the multiplication tables. Do some of y'all walk around thinking about what times what will give me 375? No. So you're going to need some help here. So instead of using a calculator, just use this guy. All right? You know that 375 is all of this multiplied together, right? So how many times will 125 go into this? Well, find 125. 125 is this and this. How many times? 3 times. So 3 times 71 is 213. 125 going there. 3 times 53 is 159. 15. Okay, well let's take our handy dandy eraser and take out the 15. How many times? 25 times. You don't even have to think. All you have to do is just take off the numbers. But I know it's easier to remember 2 or 3 other rules. So 15 will go 25 times 4.
100.
200 plus 100 is 300. 300 plus 159 is 459. And then what am I going to do with 459? 460 plus 213 is what? 473 minus 1 is 472. What did I just do? Confused the heck out of me. I added in my head even numbers. Watch. 213 is my biggest number, right? So I'm going to add 100 to it. Why am I adding 100 to it? It's simple. So it'll give me the second biggest number. This plus this is 2 what? 213. 313. I'm going to take the 313 in my head and I'm just going to make it 300. Why? Because I've got to add that to it. So I add 300 in my head and add this, that's 459, right? And then I say 459, and then there's that 10 right there, I add another 10 to it, or whatever the case may be, and I got the final answer. Okay? You can do it several different ways. What I don't want you to do is reach for the what? Don't reach for the calculator. You don't need a calculator for this, unless you're challenged. Don't raise your hand and say, oh, you calculator, you call me challenged. No, I don't know what you're doing. But you don't need a calculator to add those 3 numbers. What I come up with? I forgot.
472.
Thank you. 472. That should be great. Now you need to always reduce if possible, but I doubt that's the reducible because this ends in 2 and this ends in 5, so it's going to be hard to reduce that one. But we can type it in just to make sure we're right. 472 divided by 375. And we got it right. We feel good about ourselves. All right, let's try something simple. Let's try this one simple. Number 6. Right there, number 6. It's still not the worksheet I'm trying to find. Trying to find one that's a little bit more challenging. Hurry up. Hurry up. Yep. Yeah, really. Of course, you need to change all of them into improper fractions before you get started. Times 3 should be 7/2. What'd you put, glue all over the front and back just to keep it from falling apart?
Well, I was at Subway a few years ago, and I first got it, and I laid it on an aluminum table, and I didn't have a case on it, and I just had glass in the aluminum to get along, so it started almost floats on top of the aluminum, and it just freaking fell off. I was like,
I didn't know that.
and I only brought the front of it, and then the next day, I laid it on the top of my hood on my car, and it just hit the ground, so the back cracked. I was like,
Well, the common denominator is easy. What's the common denominator? 6. So that shouldn't be too difficult. So that's going to be 17/6 plus, how many times will 3 go into 6? 2 times 5 is what? So 10/6. This is 7/2. So how many times will 2 go into 6? 3 times 7 is 21. So, what's 17 plus 10? 27 minus 21, and 6 over 6 is, so everybody should have got 1 on that. See, these aren't a problem, are they?
I did it a different way instead of the same.
That's fine.
Like I messed up.
Well, you should get the same answer using, you should have got, common denominator should be 6. You should have got that.
The common denominator 12.
Okay, well then you just did double the work.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Yep, you multiplied it together, and that's what you don't do. Because if you do that with big numbers, real big numbers, you're going to end up basically chopping off your nose to spite your face. Because you're going to get up, so big numbers, if you multiply them together, then you're going to get it such a big number that you're not going to be able to do it in your head. You're going to have to rely on a calculator.
But what I did it the way that you taught us. It was just I added I didn't.
Oh, you had an extra number in there.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Okay. All right, try this one. Number 11. While you're doing that one, I'm going to try to find another worksheet, and I'm going to call roll. All right. Brown, Carey, Dawson, Dedu, Edwards, Elliott, Yo Elliott, Grubbs is here, LeCroy, Littman, Pardue is here, Queen is here, Rochester. Oh yeah, she came to my office right before class started. Roebuck. Satterfield, Shaw, Smith and Smith.
Here.
Which Smith? James. Vernon, Whitfield, Mr. Williford here, and Miss Wright. Where are you, Miss Wright? Okay. Sorry. And submit. What are you laughing about now? All right. All right. Can't find my page. There it is. All right, I gave y'all number 11. Now, first thing is get a common denominator all the way through. Now, you can do it 2 steps. You can do this one, and then find the common denominator of those, and then find the common denominator of this. That's just extra work. So, get a common denominator all the way through, in which in this case it is what? 12. So, put your 12 here, 12 here, 12 here. And 4 will go into 12 how many times? 3 times 5 is 15. Now, this is, what is it? 23 twelfths?
Yeah.
So, how many times will that be 23 twelfths? That won't change. And then this, 3 will go into 12, how many times? 4 times 4 is 16. And 23 minus 15 is what? Dang old 8. So 16 twelfths minus 8 twelfths is 8 twelfths, which reduces down to what? Dang old 2/3. Dang old. And that's it. 2/3. Now, like I said, what's more difficult? The actual subtraction of the fractions or get the common denominator? Get the common denominator. And that's why people have such a hard time with fractions, because they've never been taught how to get the common denominator. Or they've been taught so many different ways that they don't know which one to use. Capiche? All right. Mr. Williford, and only Mr. Williford. Because some of y'all I don't trust. Mr. Williford, what time is class over? Do you know? 2:10. Okay. Because some of y'all I don't trust. 135. Yeah. Let's make up one. Well, these are too easy. Let's make up one that's a little bit more challenging. Five through. Now, I actually think somebody sent me a question today in homework. Let me go look and see. They did. I want to make sure I go over it. Yep. Dang old sure did. I'm gonna do that one after this one. Now the good thing about this is you don't have to worry about doing a bunch of different rules. You just have to worry about doing one rule. And that is putting them in order and finding out what the greatest common divisor is. That's it. So 15, 125, and 375. 15, I done forgot it. 125 and 375. And the first thing you're going to do is divide by what? 5, because you're not even thinking. They all end in 5. So that'd be a 3, a 25, and I have no idea. 75. Now the real math stops because of what? The 3 and the 25. The 3 won't go into 25, and 3 won't go into 75. And nothing else will go into either one. And 5 won't go into 3, but 5 will go into these two. So now you just got to break it down to its parts. So 3, that'll be a 1, a 25, and a what? 25? 3 will go into 3 one time. Will 3 go into 75? Yeah, 25 times. And 5, 1, 5, 5. And 5, 1, 1, 1. And you're done.
What scares me when you do it differently than I do.
But you still come out with the same answer. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125, right? And what's 1 times 125 times 3? So 375 is your common multiple. Now you can do it like the math engineers. Multiply 15 times 125 times 375. Somebody do that. BA. The BA number, isn't it? That's what some people do. So 375. $125 will go into 375. 3 times 7 is 133. And how many times will 15 go into 3? Well, let's say you don't have a clue. Go back to your little do-jigger and take out your 15. How many times? That's the wrong one. Hold on. There we go. Take out the 15. How many times? 25 times. Hopefully y'all are catching that and not missing the whole term. 25 times 1 is 25. 21 plus 3 is 24. And what's 24 minus 25? Negative 1 over 375. Like I said, 99% of y'all can do this. If you can't do 21 plus 3 minus 25, we need to talk. It's getting to this point that y'all don't know, that students get rusty on. All right, one homework question was sent to me. We'll do it next. And that is, how do you know what number it is, Hubert? Well, I'm fixing to show you. Be quiet. Yeah, she got mad. See, she's going to walk out and leave. I don't blame her. I get mad too. This problem is sent to us, and it is problem. It is number 15. I'm sorry. Number 55 in the book. So if you look in 5.1 homework in the book, this problem is going to look similar to number 55. So I told you that right there. See that 55 up there? And the one online, if you go in your online homework on 5.1, this one is going to be like number 15. Okay? And there it is. So go ahead and write it down. 875, 4375, and 78, 125.
Repeat it.
875, 4375, and 78, 125. And find the greatest common divisor and the least common multiple. Okay, what number am I going to start off with right off the bat? 5. So 5. 5 will go into 8 one time, that'll leave 37. That'll be 7 times, that'll be 35. So that'll leave 35. I got 177. I'm sorry, 175. Thank you. What? I'm sorry, what'd you say? Mr. Wolford?
You couldn't start off with 25?
No, because 25 is not a prime number. Now, if you would put 5 squared, you could have done that, but that'd be a little bit more complicated. If you're thinking on another level, Mr. Wilford, that's fine, okay? But if don't use 25, you can use 5 squared because 5 is a prime number. But don't use 25. Okay? 5 will go into 43 8 times. That'll leave 37. So that'd be another 7 and then 5, right? So what did I just say? 875? 5 will go into 7 one time. And that'll leave what? 28 5 times. That'll leave 3. 31 6 times. That'll leave 12 2. And then 5. Somebody check me on that. Okay. Now, easily, 5 will go into 17. What? 3 times. That'll leave 25. That's 35. Now, people, please don't do 875 again. I've had people actually go, okay, now 5 will go into 875, 5 will go into 8 3 times or 1 time. Why do you not have to do it again? You already done it. Okay? And then 5 will go into 15 3 times, 5 will go in there 1 time, 2 times, 5 times. Somebody check that. And now we can do 5 again. 5 will go into 35 7 times. 5 will go into 175 35 times. And 5 will go into 37 6 times. That'll leave 12 and 5. What happens here? Real math, what? Why? 7 screws everything up because you could use 5, but that ain't going to happen. So let's divide a 7 in. That'll give us a 1, a 5, and a 625. A 5, that'll be a 1, and a 125. Now, Mr. Williford, what could you put right here at the bottom, right here? Instead of doing 3 more steps, what could you do? Instead of putting, see, you got the 1, and the 125. What could you put out here to kind of save you 2 or 3 steps? 5 to the what? To the 3rd power. And that'd save you a couple of steps. And I'm doing it because I'm running out of room up here. So that'd be a 1, 1, and a 1. But you got to remember to count those 3 5s out here in your answer. So, how many 5s do we have? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 5 to the 7th power. So get your calculators out, because unless you Rain Man, you ain't going to be able to do it. So 5 to the 7th power times what? Some VA number. I have no idea what it is. 546, 875. 546, 875. And that would be your denominator right there if you had a denominator with these 3 denominators. But the whole point is you can do it now because you know how to convert and you know how to add and subtract fractions. Maybe we ought to make that a test question. 3 over 875 plus 1 over 4375 plus 18 over 78, 125. What do you think? I think we ought to.
Maybe for another class.
All right. Y'all get out of here. Have a good day. Work on 5.1 homework and what? 5.3 homework. 5.1 homework and 5.3. So that means that y'all need to go home this weekend and worry yourself to death about 5.2 and write me 15 emails that says, what about 5.2? What about 5.2? What about 5.2? Right?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
We will cover 5.2 when y'all come back Monday.
Next call, you'll be in